Hey everybody, David here, and today I want to talk about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 4. The world is watching, and indeed, the world is indeed watching by the end of this episode. So, John Walker, better watch out. Let us dive right into it. The things that I liked, the things that stood out to me, and things that I didn't like. I'm gonna be honest. I love everything about these Marvel shows on Disney Plus right now. So Marvel rarely does something that I'm not happy with. I'm gonna be honest with that. You can call me a shill if you want, but that's just the way I am with Marvel. I think they're making all the right choices for me, anyways, in terms of their storytelling. And let's get right into it. So we start off with this flashback that starts off 6 years ago in Wakanda, and we see Bucky healing in his healing process while he was in Wakanda. And that was pretty cool to me because we never really got to see that in the movies. It was kind of glossed over. Like we knew that was happening. Because the first time we see him in Wakanda, it was at the end of Civil War in the post-credit scenes where we see Bucky being frozen in Wakanda. The next time we see him, he's like waking up one morning. The kids in Wakanda are waking him up at the post-credit scene of Black Panther. And then the next time we see him is right in Infinity War when the battle is about to happen and Okoye and T'Challa are waking him up to get ready for battle. So we never really got to see the process of him healing, and getting to see that in this episode, I thought was pretty sweet, man. And it was a really nice moment, especially when Bucky was realizing, yes, this thing that was controlling me in the past, these words are not controlling me anymore. So I'm glad we got to see that finally, that process, a little bit of it anyways, and how Io was the one that was helping him through that. I thought that was really sweet. Speaking of Io and the Dora Milaje, we get to see a bit of them in this episode, and they are badass. They remind us why the women in Wakanda are some of the most badass women in the MCU. Because first she tells them earlier, right after the flashback, she's like, "I'm giving you 8 hours to do what you need to do with Zemo, and then you're gonna hand his ass over to me." And eight hours must have went by pretty quick because they arrive sooner than expected, and a really good fight with John Walker and Battlestar happened in the room while Bucky and Sam are like enjoying the fight. Like, oh, these guys are gonna get their asses handed to them. And they show why they are some of the toughest women around the MCU. Which I really enjoyed. I think a lot of people really enjoyed the scene. I saw a lot of great reactions and memes of the Dora Milaje kicking John Walker's ass and Battlestar's ass. Yeah, it was sweet. I'll I'll say that much. And Bucky and Sam hesitating at first. Are we gonna jump in and help them? Nah. Just like Bucky just asks, "Hey John, how are you holding up over there?" So that was pretty funny. I'll get to John Walker a little bit more in a second, but I want to say Zemo once again was so great in this episode. Daniel Bruhl, I'm so glad they brought him back. I really liked him in Civil War, and I'm loving him even more in this show. How they're giving him more depth to play with. There was that creepy ass scene though, where he is giving the kids candy, and it right away it made me think, you're never supposed to talk to strangers when they're giving you, especially when they're giving you candy. So I just thought that was a little creepy scene right there that reminded me of my own childhood. Not that anything like that ever happened to me in my childhood, but you hear, in school and your parents telling you, if a stranger offers you candy, just say no and run away. And that kid would have failed grade school, or at least in my time. I don't know about kids today. But anyways, going on, Zemo playing his games, even telling the kid, hey, you see those two guys over there? Don't trust them. Because they're looking for Carly, and he needs information. He gets the information from the kid. And I actually thought when he told the kid that kid would come back later and bite Sam and Bucky in the ass by doing something to distract them or to let Zemo escape. But no, he's playing a game. We just don't know exactly what his game is, but he clearly is. He's getting ready for his ultimate move. He's like playing chess right now, and we don't know exactly where he's gonna go, but you know he's going to betray them at some point. And he almost does a couple of times in this episode. And even last week's episode, there were a couple of times where it looked like he could have escaped, but he didn't yet, because I think he's playing the long game. I think he also wants to get to Carly. Obviously, we see in this episode he tries to kill her. He does succeed eventually at destroying a lot of the serums, except for one, which comes into play when I'll talk about John Walker. So yeah, Zemo, not a good guy. Sam, however, does eventually reach Carly at some point in the episode, and gets to have a little bit of a talk with her. You know, tries to reason with her. He knows that, look, she's just a kid. She's not that bad. Carly, you know, is starting. She's a grayish character. She's done some bad things, but she has her reasons for she has her reasons for doing the things that she's doing. And remember, we still don't know who this power broker is and how bad this person could be. I do, however, think this show has been really showing us why Steve chose Sam to carry the shield. Because especially with the parallels between Sam and John Walker, I think they've been really laying that out thick on why Sam is the one that should have carried the shield and not John Walker. Not anybody. And this was also established in Captain America: The First Avenger when Erskine, the doctor that chose Steve Rogers to take on the serum, he said to remember to always be a good man. I forgot what the exact quote was, but it was to always be a good man, to remember to always be a good man. And that's why he didn't want to go with that bully in Captain America: The First Avenger, the guy who was a little bit of a douche, because not anybody could take the serum, because the serum will affect you in some way. It will make you worse than you already are. But if you're a good man, you'll still maintain that good spirit. And Sam, there was a great moment in the episode where Zemo asks Sam, would you take the serum if it was offered to you? And Sam right away says no. And Zemo's actually impressed, like, oh, wow. Without hesitation, you just said no. Later, they have a similar scene where John Walker is asking Lamar, would you take the serum? And Lamar says yes. And because you already know John Walker has it in his head that he was already thinking of taking it. And that's where I'll just get into John Walker right now. He grabs the serum, the last vial that Zemo wasn't able to destroy because John Walker knocked him out. He grabs the serum, but he doesn't take it right away. He thinks about it, puts it in his pocket. And that, I'm guessing after that conversation, that's where he's like, would you take the serum? And you can already see, because after his fight with the Dharma Milaje, he was disappointed in himself. Like, man, those people weren't even super soldiers, and I still couldn't beat them in the fight. And you could already tell in his voice, he was starting to crack a little bit, that he was already thinking about it, and now that kind of convinced him to take on the serum. And then that's where the episode goes all crazy, because we get to this fight. They track down Carly again. Sam and Bucky tried to talk to her because Carly threatened Sam's nephews and his sister, and so they go to meet her. A little bit upset about it, and the good reason so. But then John Walker and Battlestar, along with some other soldiers, show up. A whole fight breaks loose inside the place, this warehouse or whatever it was, and things are getting serious to the point where Carly is about to punch John Walker as hard as she can to kill him. But Battlestar gets in the way, and because he has no super soldier serum, Battlestar gets knocked out, hits this stone pillar, and is killed. Clearly is killed because he knocks over. And at first I was thinking, did they kill him? Because I thought maybe he just got the wind knocked out of him. But no, he died. John Walker goes to check out on him. And because this guy, he's a short temper. He's getting more and more upset throughout this series so far. Every time something bad happens and things are escalating worse, he starts to get more upset. And that's it. That's his breaking point. He decides to go after any of these flag smashers that he can. Carly runs off. Some of the other flag smashers run off. And shit is about to go down because he jumps out the window, John Walker. Jumps out the window, sees one of the flag smashers, the one who was having a conversation with her earlier about how he used to be a fan of Captain America when he was younger, and how Carly is kind of the new Captain America for the modern age, which he's wrong, because we know that Sam Wilson is going to be the Captain America of the modern age, and he catches up to this guy, John Walker. John Walker catches up to this flag smasher, knocks him down. It looks like the guy's about to get up, but he knocks him down again. He grabs his shield, raises it up, and starts just banging on the guy with the shield. And this guy is not Iron Man, This is not like when, Tony and Steve were fighting in Captain America Civil War. Tony has an iron suit to protect him, and Steve's not going to kill him. Well, that's not the case here. This guy doesn't have a suit, and he's like banging as many times as he can. All of a sudden, you're seeing his hand drop with a lot of blood on his hand. John Walker gets up. The shield has some blood on it, which gives the indication that, okay, I think he murdered this guy. And the world is now watching, because you see people with their phones out and everything filming this situation. And it's like, oh yeah, the government, it's going to be interesting to see what the government says about their new guy that they picked to be the new Captain America, because this is not a good image. And I'm sure the PR department is going to have a field day with this one. And that's how we end the episode, with this creepy ass moment where John Walker has the blood stained on his shield now and has killed this flag smasher. And you're like, that is dark. Some people are saying the best episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier so far, and the bloodiest episode of a Disney Plus series, original series so far. So, and I don't think I've seen anything this violent in The Mandalorian. Or obviously WandaVision was a little bit more friendlier. So probably the darkest moment in a Disney Plus original series so far, for sure. And I'll say, yes, I thought this episode was great. Like I said at the beginning, I think every episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier has been great. And I thought the same thing for WandaVision. I really enjoyed that series too. I really enjoyed The Mandalorian all the way through. I think Disney Plus is doing such a great job with these shows right now that I am enjoying every single minute of every episode that they release. Even the episodes, like, I know Mandalorian had some episodes, and maybe WandaVision too, like, that were okay, that were good, but not the greatest. But even their good episodes are still pretty entertaining. So, but Falcon and Winter Soldier has been really consistent so far. That Yeah, I've been enjoying a lot. I've been enjoying a lot, and yeah, I'll say this is probably their best episode so far. But it's just like WandaVision. Every episode got better and better as it went on. Well, okay, maybe by the episode where Quicksilver showed up at the end, because that was an unexpected shock. This was unexpected too, and I thought the Wakanda showing up at the end of Io showing up at the end of last week's episode was also pretty. But it's like Marvel had to know when the Quicksilver thing happened that was going to be like, people were going to ask questions. Is this the X-Men coming up? And if they didn't, then they're really Marvel is underestimating their fans. But they knew that was gonna be the talk of the town. And I think they know that nothing was gonna get that big, at least for a while in the MCU. With that being said, guys, tell me your thoughts on this episode. What did you think of it? Were you a little disturbed by the ending of what happened with John Walker, or do you think they should have? This is not like Game of Thrones, so don't worry. It's like some people are making it bigger than it is. Like it is shocking, but I don't think it's like Game of Thrones level bad. Like, come on, guys. They kept it PG-13. They did it in a way where it's still PG-13. But yes, comparing it to a lot of, when you think of Disney, it is pretty dark to what Disney has done in the past. So I'll leave it at that. And I know a lot of people like the darker, more grounded stuff. And with Captain America Civil War and Winter Soldier, and now Falcon and Winter Soldier, Captain America has been a little bit of that slightly more darker, edgier content that some people apparently want. So definitely, I think this is if you're someone that wants a little bit more of that darker, realistic, edgier stuff, this is the stuff that I think gives it. So with that Jason Bourne, Lethal Weapon type of edge to it. So with that being said, guys, tell me your thoughts. I hope you guys like this video. Please subscribe to my channel, and until next time, take care.